Emily, how long have you been doing this for now?
This is going to be my third season being on the ESPN NHL broadcasts.
And what's the best thing about your job?
The fact that I get to be as close to the action as possible. When there's a big moment, like, I don't know, a Connor Bedard debut, I'll be the first person to speak to him in the middle of the game. You got to be there when the guys win the cup, being on the ice with them, interviewing them right after, and asking some tough questions sometimes, which I enjoy. I know they don't enjoy as much.
How is it to be between the benches?
That is my absolute favorite assignment. I love when I get to do that. It's such a privilege, right? Like the game, if you could translate okay on TV, and I probably shouldn't say this as someone whose job is to broadcast it on TV, but it's a game that's best experienced in person. You have this appreciation for how fast it is, how skilled the guys are, especially in today's NHL. But you also get to hear the smack talk, and you hear the little chirps or the in-game adjustments, which fans would die to see. So I know that privilege. I know that everyone would love to be there, and I try to share exactly as much as I can that the guys would, allow me to come back, because I'm in their home and I have to be respectful of that too.
So, who's your favorite Swedish player?
All of them. All the Swedes are the best Swedes. No, I mean, I've got a couple. Let's see. We're here in Pittsburgh right now. So Erik Karlsson's one of my favorite to watch just because of the unique way that he plays. Robin Lehner was a player that I loved and had a really good relationship with when he was in Chicago and then in Vegas. And I was always really appreciative of his vulnerability about mental health and the way that he shared there. And then in Vegas last year, I just loved watching William Karlsson play. I think that he has adapted and has become one of the best two-way centers in the league and probably doesn't get enough credit. So I give a ton of credit to Willie, and he also gives an underrated, sneaky, funny interviews. So I appreciate that. Text Mika, Willie.
We've seen example of your Swedish in interviews a couple of times.
It's not good. It's really not good.
It's pretty good.
I know. And the problem is, like, sometimes after a game, I'll try to thank the player in their native language, just being cognizant of the fact that they didn't interview in their second language, and that's really hard. And I want to remind the viewers of home of that. But you guys say tech, and like tech just, kind of almost sounds like if you weren't expecting me, I'm speaking English, and all of a sudden I say tech. I once had a situation with Mika Zibanejad, by the way, another one of my favorite Swedes in the league. I just said tech, and he was just like, what? So I realized that I had to expand it a little bit. I go tech or text to Mika, but I still think I need a little work.
Who's going to win the Stanley Cup?
Oh, man. I feel like this is a year that everyone's expecting those teams who have been knocking, right? Like the Carolina Hurricanes, probably the trendiest pick, and for good reason. They've got the goaltending, they've got the depth, they've got the defense for sure. They've got that blue line that's probably the best in the league. The Edmonton Oilers, I think, are a really, really good team. I like Vegas to run it back. Like, how rare is it for the Stanley Cup champions to bring back essentially their entire roster, plus add a goaltender, because they get Thompson back, who was injured at the end of that year, to help out Adin Hill. So I just got this sneaky feeling that the Vegas Golden Knights are going to get it done.